What is up, guys? Today we're looking at Mega Lopunny EX, a Stage 1 Pokemon with 330 HP, colorless type. It is weak to fighting, and Lucario is pretty good. But Lucario loses to Guardian, so this card could be good. Mega Lopunny has come out in our next Phantasmal Flames set. If you guys are excited for it, today we're going to talk about a deck profile, a deck list. We're going to look at a gameplay video from the Japanese YouTube channel. We're going to see the Gale Thrust attack here, 60 plus 170. If this Pokemon was on your bench this turn, so it can't be like Baniri into the active, then Lopunny. It's like Lopunny has to be on your bench and then goes into the active, if that makes sense. For all of you Golisopod enjoyers, you know how it works. First impression. Yep. 230 is a pretty sizable amount of damage. You can pick this guy back up with like Turo. Keep it going. We have Turo in the format to recycle and reset the Mega Lopunny. We have Spike Hopper for two colorless. We do 160 as well. It's not affected by any effects on your opponent's Pokemon. Now, the benefit of being colorless means we can play any engine we want with the deck. The best engine probably right now is like anything with Monkey Dory, just so we can like keep getting damage into play, etc. Or I could play Solrock Lunatone engine as well, and just to be able to discard cards and go from there. So let's take a look at the deck list and the video here from the Japanese YouTube channel. Let's skip ahead a little bit. We see here that apparently the Dunsparce Linoon engine. The Dunsparce lets you shuffle, draw in a bunch of cards. Let's check out what Linoon does as well from the new set. Let's find out real quick. I actually don't know what this one does. Looks like Linoon says, once during your turn, this Pokemon's on your bench, and if any Mega Pokemon, you may use this ability. Switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. So basically, you can go evolve into Linoon, move the Linoon to the active, and then balloon it or something. And then it basically becomes like a free pivot once again for your Lopunny over and over again, which is actually pretty cool. The Dunsparce shuffles itself back in from any position, which also becomes a pivot. The Jet energies are just a natural inclusion for a card like this because you can evolve into Lopunny and jet it up into the active and punch for a ton of damage. We see Wally's Compassion, a card that I think is very good. This way we don't have to tear up the entire line. We can just Wally's Compassion and go Linoon Jet, or we can go like Linoon Balloon and move it after a Wally's Compassion, which is really cool. 4 copies of research. We do want to be pushing through our deck pretty quickly, it looks like. Just fours of everything. This list looks beautiful. Training Court to give us a little bit more HP. Just a ton of damage, just a ton of consistent poking, and we have the Monkey Dory to keep moving more damage. There's no actual modifiers, which is like the one thing I guess is like the issue. No Vitality Band, no like Mochi Petch. I guess we can't even use that, I guess. But no actual modifiers in this list, which is a little bit concerning. So our damage is capped at like 230 every single time. But I think we can make the most of it, especially with the Monkey Dory. I'm really excited to see this list in action. Let's jump right into it. We've got a pretty dead hand here from the Lopunny player. They're going to go ahead and just, they're like thinking about, do I research this? Yada, yada. There's a Jet Monkey in the active. I don't know. This hand is like really hard to get rid of, especially if we went first. On the right side, it looks like it's Future Box. A probably pretty good matchup because we can just 2/2 them. So we'll just go ahead and pass here for the turn. We'll draw his Future Box here. If there's a Joltik in the deck, they can also just go Accelerate into Joltik here immediately. We see that there is the potential for a Donk actually with Tachyon Bits plus like an actual attack. We're going to go ahead and Future, get the Miraidon here, and the Crown. We're going to be able to power it up. We're just going to basically use the Switch to go into the Tachyon Bits here, put 2 damage counters on the board. We do have the ability to go for the Donk here. We have the Surfer to go to the second Tachyon Bits, put 2 more damage on the board. We'll draw 3 cards here. Yep. And then we're looking for there's the Jet energy. That is the Donk, right? Yeah, we do donk the Monkey Dory, so that's not a real game, but let's go back in and try again. That's kind of funny that they got donk. You guys can take this donk, take the ladder. We see Dunsparce in the active and Bunny on the bench. Baniri, and we're gonna go ahead and set up. There's the Fan Rotom. Yeah, well, it's one of these decks where like if you have Fan Rotom, you can go after the races. It looks like off the rip, because if you get Fan Rotom, you can get the Dunsparce. You can get a bunch of good stuff, and then the next turn you can just kind of go into what you want. We're retreating to Fan Rotom and just pass over because it's a pretty good chance we're gonna lose our active. We're gonna be able to Vessel here. Get the Psychic Patch as well. Psychic Patch is kind of cool actually in this Future Box deck because I didn't think about that, how you can be pretty aggressive. And you have Psychic Patch to like accelerate to your attackers. We have Surfer going into the Miraidon here, just powering it up. Now this is where the game gets a little bit dicey. 230 is the perfect number to hit on this Iron Hands, barring the charm. So it is a little bit of a cheat for the video that we are going to be able to put ourselves in a position that we have what is quote unquote the perfect numbers for this Iron Hands. We're going to be able to power up here. So now if we have a Lopunny plus a Boss's Orders, and an Energy, like a Jet energy specifically, where we're going to be able to put ourselves in a spot. We're going to Dunsparce immediately away, run away, draw some cards. There's a Lopunny. There's going to be a Balloon. We're looking for a Linoon and a boss. There's the boss up on the Iron Hands. Linoon and a Jet energy, Linoon and an energy, or Jet is fine. There's a Jet energy. We're going to be able to just pop this here. A very simplistic deck, but like I said, I think the issue is going to come to the point where we can't actually do more than 230 damage. So it's going to become a constraint pretty quickly. And I think any deck can kind of abuse that down the line, like Gardevoir and Dragapult, which don't get knocked out with just 230, can put themselves in positions where Wally's Compassion doesn't actually clean up the board in a reliable manner. Or like you can't really deal with all the endless Monkey Dories coming out from Gardevoir. But for now, this deck does look like a very fun deck. Not the most competitive, I will say that immediately from just watching the initial gameplay. We see the Tachyon bits are coming into play here. We're going to switch into one of the Tachyon bits, get 20 in, probably take out the Rotom off the board, just a free prize card. This Zigzagoon is going to be an issue, so we do want to get that off the board if we can. We're going to be able to future booster capsule this out of the active, just go into another Tachyon bits, start putting some pressure onto the active. We're going to put another Iron Crown down. We're going to be able to Prime Catcher up the Zigzagoon. I think almost certainly. Oh, we're just taking out the bunny. I would have just taken the Zigzagoon off the board. I feel like that's a big threat. Like the Linoon being able to reset the active over and over again is like not really super ideal. And we'll just be able to use the attack here. Probably getting Psychics now. Considering there's Psychic patch, it's probably a more Psychic heavy build, and the hands is just in here as like a little bit of a gimmick. We are going down to 4 prize cards, but keep in mind everything in this deck is pretty easy to take out with the boss's orders now. We are looking for a second boss's orders. Just being able to raw draw it, sack it if we can. There's another bunny. There's another bunny. We're just going to stack bunnies. Training Court coming into play. We're looking for boss, just a research though. Seeing 7 new cards. Looking for Prime Catcher as well as a doable option. Ultra Ball here. The Dark and the Psyduck. Getting into Dunsparce here. We have a chance to draw into some more cards and maybe hit this here. Dunsparce here. Palpad putting the boss back into the deck. I like this quite a bit just because we are putting ourselves in a spot where you need to get this into play immediately. And if you hit this turn, you win. There is the Prime actually. We're just going to bring up the Iron Valiant. We're going to retreat in and once again pop the active. 240, perfect number here because of the plus 10 from the stadium. But like again, 240, like I don't really know if the stadium's that good, all things considered, because the damage numbers are already pretty bad across the board. We're going to jet up the Tachyon bits, put some more damage onto the board. Again, this Future Box deck just can't get going in any capacity, so we just need something to happen, something to stick. We're going to be able to boss up the Dunsparce here, take away some of the draw from the engine, go ahead and retreat into the Miraidon, or we're going to draw one, I guess, first. We're going to be able to retreat into the Miraidon, just take another knockout off the board. We just need to power up one big attacker, and hopefully it lasts. It survives the onslaught of this Lopunny here that's just basically wreaking havoc on the board. Once again, a boss's orders will close out the game. We have the one was put back into the deck. The Prime Catcher is now gone, so like Arven or whatever is no longer an out for that. Just only a boss's orders can end this game. And the resets keep getting freer and freer every single turn. We're looking for a second Lopunny is also pretty good. I don't think I noticed if Fez was in this list. I think when we were earlier looking at this, we're gonna puff and probably add another Dunsparce. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there was no Fez. Interestingly enough, I feel like Fez is probably really important to have. There's a Hilda to draw some more cards. We can do that, or we can just Ultra Ball. I mean, I don't know. I think Dunsparce for 1 is probably fine first. Let's see what we get. The Dunsparce, sorry. Like I think it's fine to draw 3, and if we hit, we win. There's Wally's and there's Jet, which is like fine, nothing too crazy. You can Hilda for the Lopunny now, which is like totally okay still. Like I feel like there's like pretty much no downside. Stretcher for the Lopunny again. I mean, we have Hilda, right? Like why not just Hilda? I guess it's fine. I think Hilda would have been a little bit better. We're gonna Wally's Compassion, heal the damage off this turn. Just take it as a pretty easy turn to just heal. Get rid of the energy. There's another. Oh, it goes back to hand. Yeah, it does. Okay, so the Jet. Wait. Wally's goes back to hand. That's broken. What? This combo's insane. Unfortunately, you don't do a lot of damage. That's crazy. I forgot about that. I thought it was discard for some reason. But that's broken. What the heck? Anyway, wow. Man, imagine if this deck could actually do more damage, or like you can amp up damage somehow. Maybe like you play Tachyon bits in your deck. No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe it does. What if we combine these two decks? The wheels are turning for me right now. I can't really explain it. We're just gonna go ahead and punch the active here, and all we're saying is please don't have a way to move your active, or a way to get an energy on the bench and move your active. Please, please, please don't beat me here. But it's like pretty likely that this happens anyway. 260 onto the active. We're stacking this up for a ton of damage. I mean, I would have been down to put it all on the bench and been okay. The Wallies would have been really good this turn, like I said. But there's the jet. There's a jet in the hand. I don't know where. Showing me. I see the jet. Like I see the jet energy in hand, right? So the game just ends. Are we trolling a little bit? So we have it. But I think we're trying to show off the Linoon, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm just gonna end this video here because we have the jet and the game ends. Like, it's just we have like 10 different ways to win here. Okay, but I think the initial problem still lasts, where like the deck doesn't do enough damage to actually win games. But this is like such a cool concept. Like, can we actually modify damage in any way to make this deck more feasible and more playable? Like, what can we do? Maybe Volcanion. Like, Volcanion as a pivot could be good. The burn could be some damage. Burn gives us 30, right? 30 or 20. Plus this, like, let's just say Stadium is fine still. We go up to 260, 270. Is that even enough? Can we do anything with that? How do we get more damage, guys? Dusknors? Maybe popping Dusknors is good too. But is that in, like, are we giving up too many prize cards in the process? You guys let me know in the comments. I'm actually very excited. This card seems really good, but the idea behind the deck is like, how can we build it in a way that actually does something rather than just like poke something and then we lose. So you guys let me know. We'll figure it out. I'm excited. I want to try this. This is a cool card. Very, very cool card.